Osmoregulation in plants. Osmoregulation in plants is the adaptation of plants in the environment for their survival. Definition of mesophytes. Mesophytes are terrestrial plants which are adapted to neither a particularly dry nor particularly wet environment. Mesophytes make up the largest ecological group of terrestrial plants and usually grow under moderate to hot and humid climatic regions. Morphology adaptation. They do not have any specific morphological adaptation, however, they usually have broad, flat and green leaves. Morphologically adaptation. The roots are branched and long, stems are various size and length, leaves are numerous, white and thin, stomata are numerous of normal size. Anatomical adaptation. Mesophytes do not have any special internal structure. Epidermis is single-layered, usually with obvious stomata and large cortex. Anatomically adaptation. Root cells have intercellular spaces. Bark has soft tissue and lenticels. Cuticle is thin. Structure of gut cell is normal. Physiologically adaptation. Water potential of root cell is reasonably low. Transpiration rate is high in adequate soil water. Leaves are dropped during autumn. Stomata open during daytime and close at night. Example of mesophyte plants: hibiscus, maize, rainforest plants. Hydrophytes. Hydrophytes are aquatic plants that live underwater, floating on water or in water. Hydrophytes do not have a problem retaining water due to the abundance of water in their environment. This means that aquatic plants have less need to regular transpiration, which will require more energy and be of little benefit to the plants. Morphologically adaptation. Roots are fine, few or absent as in algae. Stems are thin, not obvious or underground. Leaves are thin or maybe very big for lilies. Stomata absent for at upper epidermis. Anatomically adaptation. Root cells with abundant intercellular spaces. Stems have little xylem but with air passage. Leaves have very thick and very thin cuticles. Gut cell may be normal or small size. Osmoregulation in plants. Osmoregulation in plants is the adaptation of plants in the environment for their survival. Adaptation of hydrophyte plants, floating plants. In and out the body of water, these receive more sunlight than submerged plants do. They also rarely have to compete with one another for sunlight. Adaptation of hydrophyte plants. Submerged plants. The leaf of the submerged plants receive lower level of sunlight because light energy diminishes while passing through a water column. Example of hydrophyte plant: Lodian, water hyacinth, water lilies.
Xerophyte. What is xerophyte? Plants that adapt to life in hot, dry climates and live in areas with short water supply. Xerophytes have number of structural features called xeromorphic features to help them survive. reduced rate of transpiration, storage of water, uptake of water. Reduced rate of transpiration. Stem with hard and thick epidermis, covered with waxy cuticle, sunken stomata, stomata open at night and closed during the day, plant surface covered with fine hair, reduced number of stomata. Storage of water. Leaf and stem are fleshy and succulent. Uptake of water. Plants such as cacti usually have shallow but extensive root system to catch every drop of available rainfall. Plants such as acacia have a deep root system to reach underground water source. How does xeromorphic features help xerophyte to survive in sand dunes? Extensive underground networks of rhizome with adventitious root for obtaining water. Stomata are sunken groove, few in number and found only in inner surface of leaf. Leaves are able to roll up in condition of water stress. On the inner epidermis, there is a layer of hair to reduce transpiration by trapping air. The outer surface of the leaf is covered with thick cuticle. How does xeromorphic features help xerophyte to survive in cold or high altitude environment? Plants such as conifer have spiky leaf with a thick and waxy cuticle. Stomata are formed in depression. Leaves are small and circular in cross-section which reduce the surface area of transpiration. Halophyte. What is halophyte? The plant that occupies salt marsh, estuarine mud, or area close to the sea, where the concentration of salt is high. Mangrove tree. This plant cannot absorb much water as the water is very salty. To overcome this problem, they actively absorb salt into the root. As a result, the root have lower water potential than the surrounding water. Water flow into the root by osmosis. Mangrove tree. Extensive system of rhizome from the adventitious root for water uptake. Leaves that have thick epidermis and waxy cuticle. Reduced number of stomata. Some plants are able to control their salt content by extracting salt from the gland at the margin of their leaf. Now, let's take a look at this short video.
In some parts of the world, the beauty of winter masks the stress it poses for plants. During this season, sunlight is scarce, temperatures plunge, and soil often becomes hard with ice. Plants here get ready for these conditions in the fall, when most begin to lose their green color. They stop making new chlorophyll, the chemical needed to produce food. As the old chlorophyll breaks down, the color of leaves begins to change. Deciduous trees shed their leaves each year and remain inactive until spring, kind of like bears in hibernation. But conifers are hardy adapters to all kinds of environments. Their flexible branches bend as snow accumulates, dropping loads of snow to the ground below. Most have small, leathery leaves, shaped like scales or needles. A waxy coating keeps moisture in and guards against ice. The narrow shape of needles lets the wind and snow pass between them and prevents them from drying out. Since many conifers don't lose their leaves, they are ready to produce food as soon as spring arrives. Other plants have to grow new leaves all over again. In some of the hottest places on Earth, cactus plants withstand unforgiving conditions. The giant saguaro cactus lives in the Sonoran Desert in the southwest United States. Here, temperatures climb to more than 100 degrees, and less than 4 inches of rain falls each year. With plenty of sun, they get the energy they need, but water is a much different story. To collect moisture, they rely on a network of wide-spreading roots that cover large areas of the desert ground. They grow a good distance apart from each other as a result. Their tough, rubbery outer layer helps them store any moisture for months at a time. For a short time during the spring, the saguaro produces white blossoms. These buds open at night, providing a feast for long-nosed bats. The bats feed on the flowers and pollinate the cacti at the same time. This allows energy-rich fruit to form. Its seeds will feed all kinds of desert animals. These cacti reach heights of up to 50 feet and can live for almost 300 years. Surprisingly, their biggest threat isn't the heat at all. It comes from cities that are expanding nearby.
Thank you for watching.